Hello, and thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Betsy Holt, and I am a service delivery manager here at ChargePoint, and I am so pleased to be your host for our What's Up webinar series. And today we are talking about ChargePoint Protect. These are the ways that ChargePoint can provide protection for your EV charging stations. We take this very seriously and are really excited to show you what we can do to help you protect your chargers. And I am pleased that I am joined today by Eduardo Garib. He is our Senior Manager of Product Marketing, and he is an expert on ChargePoint Protect. So, Eduardo, thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Betsy.
Absolutely. And with that, I want to take a moment to go over what we have in store today. So first, we're going to talk about the ChargePoint vandalism prevention features. We're going to talk about our cut-resistant cables, which are our first line of defense, as well as ChargePoint Protect, which is another additional layer of security that you can enable through your station portal. And then I'm actually going to do one of my favorite things, which is a live demo of how you can log into your ChargePoint station portal and enable ChargePoint Protect for stations that it's available for. And of course, we're going to have plenty of time at the end for a Q&A. So please don't be bashful. On the right-hand side of your screen, there is a Q&A tab. Please add your questions in there as we're going along, and we'll have plenty of time to talk through them at the end. Also, right next to that Q&A tab, we also have a Docs tab that's going to have additional information about all the things we're talking about today. So with that, let's get started. To begin, I'd really love to hear from all of you who have joined us today. So has your site been affected by cable theft or vandalism attempts? Please let us know so we can better understand your experience. Okay, so we're pretty split here. We have a few folks who have unfortunately experienced this, and then folks who are kind of aware that this is a concern and want to be proactive about it. We've actually experienced this at ChargePoint headquarters, so we really understand and have compassion for what a problem this is, and that's why we're doing something about it. So thank you so much, and let's get into it. So
Thank you, Betsy.
I'm going to turn it over to you, Eduardo. We're excited to hear what ChargePoint can do.
Thank you, and hi to everyone. I'm very glad to be here with you to talk about one of our most exciting product launches lately. I'm going to be walking you through an overview, like Betsy said, of our vandalism prevention features. And again, my name is Eduardo Garib, and I lead the product marketing team here at ChargePoint. Let's jump into it. We have a lot to cover, and we're very excited to show this to you. So we wanted to start just by saying that a big part of what drove us as a company to work on these features was getting tired of seeing so much negative coverage on the news about station vandalism. Companies' chargers should receive better protection from law enforcement. And there's really no reason why anybody should have their property vandalized. But there's just a lot that's outside of our hands, especially here at ChargePoint as suppliers. We couldn't control all the factors that were leading to these problems. But something that we could control was using technology to solve problems that our customers were sharing with us. And this is exactly what we did. We rounded up a team of hardware and software engineers, very talented people, and created a task force to give it our best shot. And the results are what you're going to be seeing today. We announced these features at the beginning of the year, so somewhere around January 15, and we were very pleased to see positive coverage in the news, showcasing that the media also wants to cheer for businesses that solve real problems. This is really exciting for us. We have a quick video to show you how these features look in real life. We'll play it for you now.
ChargePoint stations are a great investment that will provide long-term value for your business. You can attract and retain customers and employees with dependable charging, day in and day out. Like any asset, your stations need protection. Unfortunately, cable theft is becoming a growing issue. Thankfully, ChargePoint offers solutions to keep your investment safe, introducing 2 innovations to deter charger vandalism: cut-resistant cables and ChargePoint Protect. Our new cut-resistant cables form a strong defense, using proprietary technology that makes it much harder to cut through or damage cables. And there's more. If someone manages to damage a cable, ChargePoint Protect is an advanced software feature that detects cable cutting in real time, deterring further vandalism by setting off audible and visual alarms on all nearby stations, and alerting the owner via SMS and email. At ChargePoint, we use innovation and technology to make one of the world's leading EV charging networks better each day. Our new cut-resistant cables and ChargePoint Protect are the latest examples of our commitment to a better experience for our customers and the drivers they serve. ChargePoint. By EV drivers, for EV drivers.
Thank you. I hope you liked that video. And let's start talking about the cut-resistant cables. We'll go there first, and then I'll tell you about ChargePoint Protect. Our line of cut-resistant cables is designed to provide a strong first layer of defense for your stations. They are in-house developed and patent-pending technology that is designed to make cables much harder to cut, even with angle grinders, reciprocating saws, or similar specialized tools. Our cables are not only harder to cut. Check out how that photo over there shows sparks flying from under the disc as the tool tries to cut through the steel reinforcements. But they're also flexible and easy to use like any other cable out there. These cables are ideal for sites that are in open parking lots, accessible during nighttime, and especially in urban areas, since this is where we've learned that exposure to vandalism is the greatest. Let's go a little bit deeper into how they work. Our cut-resistant cables add a mix of hard metals and high-strength plastics in a way that makes cutting them much harder. When testing them internally, we uncovered about a 10x increased resistance to theft attempts. We learned, unfortunately, that most thieves use bolt cutters that are readily available at hardware stores. So, for example, I can tell you firsthand that using a bolt cutter through a traditional cable to cut through a traditional cable lets you get through it in just a matter of a second or two. These new cut-resistant cables are much, much harder to cut, requiring several minutes and a lot of effort to actually go through them. And there's more. When you actually cut the cables damage the tools. They will dull out bolt cutters, grinder discs, and sawzalls. This means that the costs for thieves go up, and it makes it less lucrative for them to try to get money out of scrapping the copper. To top things off, the fact that we added more metals and materials to the cables makes separating the copper wires even harder for thieves, which is like a bonus deterrent. Again, all of this is achieved with little to no impact to usability. A lot of research and development went into ensuring this, and the way it works is by achieving the right compromise between protection and flexibility. This means that while harder to cut, the cables are not cut-proof. We learned that with enough time and dedication, thieves will always find a way to cut cables. So we decided to create a second barrier of protection that I'm going to tell you more about now. Meet ChargePoint Protect, that additional layer of security. It is a real-time cutting detection system that sounds an audible and flashes a visible alarm in the event of a successful cable cutting. If one station at a site has one of its cables cut, all the stations nearby will sound their alarms, and this will deter further cutting. On top of that, station owners will receive a real-time alert via SMS and email so that they can contact law enforcement or secure the premises. The best part about this system, in my opinion, is that it leverages the station's existing infrastructure to detect cutting attempts and sound alarms. This means that there's no hardware update required to run this new feature. Protect will be available via over-the-air update to most of our models as part of many of our software subscriptions. Let me give you a few details about the availability of cut-resistant cable options and Protect for specific models before moving on to the next part of our presentation. So, if you're a current owner of ChargePoint stations and are wondering if these vandalism prevention features are available to you, we have you covered. As you can see on the table, cut-resistant cable options will be available for all of our station models. Please speak with a ChargePoint representative for more details. Continuing with Protect, as you can see on the right side of the table, this feature will be available on all station models except CPF50 and CT4000. This is all I have for you today, and it's been a pleasure, but now I will have to hand things over to my colleague Betsy, who's going to show you a real-life demonstration that I'm sure you're going to love. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Eduardo. I was noticing that we already were having a lot of questions about which stations these features are available for, so it was great to see that clear breakdown. And now on to one of my favorite things to do, which is to do a live demo of the ChargePoint Station Portal software and how you can enable ChargePoint Protect on your CP6000 stations or your CPE 250 or 280 or your Express Plus stations. So with that, I'm going to start sharing my screen. And I would love it if you are an admin on your account, please feel free to sign in and follow along with me, and I will show you what to do. This can be enabled in just under a minute. So I have signed into the ChargePoint dashboard account for ChargePoint headquarters, and I'm on the main dashboard page here. From here, I'm going to select organizations from this top row of headings. So I'm going to click on organizations. And then from here, I can see my organization's name, ChargePoint Headquarters. This is a hyperlink. So I'm going to click on the name of my organization. And this is going to take me to kind of this general summary tab of my organization details. Now from here, on the far right, there is an orange edit button. So I'm going to click on edit here at the top, and then scroll down to the bottom. And at the bottom, there's a box labeled ChargePoint Protect. So from here, on this first dropdown next to the word security alarm, in order to enable ChargePoint Protect, I'm going to click enabled here from this dropdown. Then next, we have the option for the audio alert. This is the audio alarm on the stations themselves. So if you happen to be in an area that has quiet hours, you don't want to wake people in the middle of the night, you can disable this audio alert, or you can opt to enable it so that that alarm will go off on site on your stations. Then you can also customize the duration. We have anywhere from 1, 3, 5, 10, 15 minutes on the duration of that audio alert on your stations. Now next, we have radius. Now, I was doing a demo on this yesterday and I totally blanked on radius. So I actually reached out to Eduardo and I thought your answer was so great. So Eduardo, can you, if you don't mind, explain to me again what this radius selection is all about?
I'd love to, Betsy. Thank you. So here's how it works. By selecting a custom radio, our radius, our customers can select the amount of stations in their site that are going to sound their alarms should one of the cables in their property get cut. This is just another tool we give them to control this feature and lets them just create a more audible and bigger splash in the event of vandalism. But if they want to keep it restricted for any reason, maybe they have a building that they don't want any sound to hit, or they want to just test out different ways to protect their stations, we leave it open to them, but that's how it works.
Okay, cool. So here we have anywhere from 10 to 100 feet. So for ChargePoint headquarters, we have 30 feet. So if one station has a cable cut, then all the stations within 30 feet of that station are going to sound the alarm. Okay.
Exactly. One of them is going to call all of its buddies, and they're all going to ring their alarms and sound their. They're all going to sound their alarms and show the visual alerts as well.
Oh, great. Very, very cool. So then these next two fields, we have custom support phone number. Here you're going to enter a phone number that will receive a text message to let them know that there's been a breach. And then here you can enter in the email address that you want to be contacted if there is an alarm that goes off on your stations. So very important here. After you make your selections, you're going to want to click this orange save button in order to complete enabling these features. I'll also call out this orange button that says disable all active alarms. If your alarms are going off and you need to turn them off right away, if you log in and click on this orange button, then the alarms will cease. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and click save. And I now have ChargePoint Protect enabling on my stations right now.
That's awesome, Betsy. Thank you.
It's one of my favorite things. I love going in our software and making the most of these features that we have to offer. It's super fun. And with that, now it's time for Q&A. So thank you so much. It's been really exciting to see how much participation we've had thus far as we've been talking about this.
It's awesome. Yeah. Betsy, I'm going to jump into a first question that's been popping in the chat as I've been monitoring it. I see it recurring, so I just want to address it first.
Sure.
Folks, CT4000, whether you have a CT4021, a CT4020, if it starts with CT4, it's part of the CT, well-beloved CT4000 family of stations. It is probably the most sold station in North America, let alone by ChargePoint and by any brand. So it's very much a present station. The vandalism prevention features available to this family of stations is the cut-resistant cables, are the cut-resistant cable options. We offer them both for new models as well as conversion kits. Should your stations be vandalized, your CT4000 stations, you can retrofit cut-resistant cables for your CT4000s. And unfortunately, CT4000 is not eligible for ChargePoint Protect, the software feature. This is a reason that's outside of our control. We would have loved to offer it on CT4000 as well, but the sensors and the hardware required to detect a cable cutting are not present in CT4000, being a station that was designed a few years back. So it is impossible for us to offer this feature, but cut-resistant cables are always available for these stations.
I see another question here. Does the notification email contain the charging station where the vandalism occurred? So is it going to alert them about which station had the cut cable?
It alerts to the address of the site. It will tell you a station at site X is sounding its alarm, and then you will go and secure those premises, but I don't believe it tells you the specific number of station. Yeah, that's the way it's designed.
Okay, great. Here's another question. Actually, Eduardo, if you don't mind, because I know you were just talking about the CT4000, we have another question about those stations. So this question is, if the cables have to be replaced, will the entire charger body have to be replaced, as is currently the case with CT4000? Or has it been made possible to replace just the cables on their own? This seems like
question.
Based on which hardware we're talking about.
Yeah, that's how I would answer it. So let's start with CT4000. Folks, CT4000, again, well loved and very much an important station for our portfolio. It's been around for a few years. So if you experience issues where if a cable gets cut, you need to replace the head unit, not the entire body of the station, but just the head unit needs to be replaced because the cables are attached to it. We've learned from this, and our superseding model to CT4000, so the latest flagship on the AC portfolio, which is the CP6000, incorporates our learnings, and replacing the cables on the CP6000 is very easy. It's just a simple swap, no need to replace any other part other than the cable. So this is my long-winded way of telling you that, unfortunately, yes, on the CT4000, if a cable gets cut, you need to replace other components, not the entire station, just the head unit and the cables. But more newer models or later additions to our portfolio don't have this issue because we've learned in the process of developing new stations. So on your CP6000, anything on the DC range or in our DC family of stations, you only need to change the cables. No other parts need to be swapped out.
Thanks, Eduardo, for clarifying that. That's helpful. I am so excited about this question that I just saw. So here's the question. Can you clarify if CP Protect is an additional cost to subscribers or included as an enhancement? It is included as an enhancement. I love getting to answer this question because it is such a mission of mine to reach out to customers and make sure that folks know about all the great features that are a part of our software. They're a part of the cloud plan that you already have. And it's just a matter of learning how to enable these features in order to utilize them. So I'm so glad they asked. Thank you so much for that question.
Can I pick a question?
Yes, please.
Somebody asking about alerts. If there's a flashing light on a damaged unit that will indicate that it's been vandalized, the answer is yes. So if your station gets vandalized on the CP6000, the shoulder lights will flash red if a cable is not functioning properly, as would be if it gets cut. So that's how you would know if it's down. On CT4000, it will be on the screen. The station screen will let you know that the station is offline, and that's how you'll know that's the one that was unfortunately cut. And on DC stations, there's LED lights on top that will tell you that there's something off. So yeah, you will be able to just do a walk around through the site and know which one's been damaged.
I see another question here about asking about additional charge. I just want to reiterate one more time that if you have CP6000 stations, or on the DC side, if you have CPE 250 or CPE 280 or Express Plus stations, all you need to do is log into your station software portal to enable ChargePoint Protect, no additional charge.
I see a few questions about cost. We're very happy to tell you that the cut-resistant cables are not much more expensive than any other replacement cable. It varies by model, so it's very hard to give you a ballpark, but please, if you've had your stations vandalized and you want to replace the cables, please order cut-resistant cable options for them as a replacement and ask about the price, and I'm sure you'll be satisfied with the offering.
Oh, here I see this is an important one. I see a question here. Can the alarm be shut off remotely or before the duration that you program when you enable ChargePoint Protect? And the answer is yes. All you need to do if the alarm is going off and for whatever reason you need to disable it, just log in to your ChargePoint station portal, click on organizations at the top, then click on your organization name, scroll down to the bottom to that ChargePoint Protect box, and you'll see that orange button that says disable all alarms. If you click that orange button, the alarms will cease. That's a great question. And you can do that from anywhere. Just log in and the power is yours.
I see a question that has two. Betsy, can I answer it?
Oh, yes, please.
This one's also been asked for a few folks. So is the alarm only going to sound when the cable is completely cut? Yes, the answer is almost always yes. The way the alarm works is that when the cable stops transmitting energy through one of the wires inside of the cable, that's what triggers the alarm. So unfortunately, yes, they would need to cut through a portion of the cable for the alarm to go off. So that's part one. And then part two is about the sound and how long it will ring for. The answer is it depends on the settings you select. When Betsy was showing us through the demo, there's a toggle or there's a part of the UI that lets you choose the duration of your alarm, which you can always override with the big orange button.
I like this question, Eduardo. I have a question here. Is the alarm loud enough to wake up neighbors? I wonder if you could speak to like how loud the alarm is.
It is, I would say it's on each station, it's not as loud as a vehicle's alarm. So in that sense, you're not going to break any municipal issues. You're not going to have any bigger issues than if a car was sounding its alarm. But yeah, we try to make it as loud as possible so that it would actually deter theft. So yes, that is a possibility that you'll wake up the neighbors.
It's a good comparison to talk about in terms of a car alarm, because that's something that we're all familiar with. So that's I appreciate that comparison. That's helpful. Oh, here's a question. Are the chargers still operational when the alarm goes off?
Good question. The charger that has had its cable cut will not be operational on the affected port. It's on a per port basis. If the station detects enough cutting to sound off the alarm, it will also shut down power to that port for safety reasons. But the other one will remain operational, as well as the rest in the site that were not affected by it.
We have time for one more question. Eduardo, I'd love to hang out and talk about this longer. This is something that really excites me. I think it's so cool that we have these features available. I have some questions, maybe for some folks who are looking to install chargers later this year or early 2026. I have some questions here about whether these features are going to be available on their stations. And I guess I'm wondering, for folks who are like ordering CP6000s now, are the cut resistant cables, are they automatically on the stations? Is it something that a customer has to like specifically opt in for? How does that work?
You should ask your sales representative for the option, because we have options with cut resistant cables and without them. Specifically, some people that have behind the fence applications where the chargers are, say, for a fleet scenario or somewhere where they're not going to be exposed to the public, they'd rather just save however much difference there is in price. So we offer the options, and we encourage you to just ask about the availability. If a station like CP6000, which was pointed out in the Q&A, has a coming soon, then it is probably available now, and we'll just offer it to you with a longer lead time. So just please ask our sales representatives, and we'll find a solution for your issue.
That's a great point. Just be sure to be specific with your sales representative about exactly what you're looking for in terms of those cable types. Excellent. And with that, I'm going to close things out for us here. Thank you so much for spending some time with us today to learn more about this. There are two options for follow-up afterwards if you're interested. So option one, if you already have ChargePoint CP6000s or CPE 250 or 280 or Express Plus, and you would like to enable ChargePoint Protect, please type Protect in the Q&A, and we can link you with someone at ChargePoint who can help you enable the feature. They can take you through that process that I demonstrated and log into your station portal and get ChargePoint Protect enabled. So that's option one, if you already have stations that have ChargePoint Protect capability. Now, option two, If you are interested in upgrading your stations or upgrading to cut-resistant cables, please click on the Contact Sales button, which is a blue button on the right side of your screen. And then we will help put you in touch with a salesperson who can help talk to you about station upgrades. If you're interested in upgrading from CT4000 to CP6000, or just interested in upgrading to cut-resistant cables on your existing stations, or if you're just starting your electrification journey, we're here for you. And also a friendly reminder, under the Docs tab, we do have information about our next What's Up webinar, which is going to be next month. We're going to be talking about take-home fleets. So if you're interested in that, I look forward to seeing you next time. And until I see you again, charge on, everybody. Thanks so much.